Yes, so we have already discussed that these are the equations which we have, in which we have introduced all the variables x1, x2, s1, s2, x1, x2, s1, s2, x1, x2, s1 and s2, correct? So these are the three equations which we have. From here we will continue now. Now this is the table which we are supposed to formulate. Okay, so this is called as the simplex table. Now what we are supposed to do is, we have introduced x1, x2, s1, s2, and this is the RHS of the equation, right hand side of the equation. Okay, now we will see first, from the first equation 2 is being derived. Okay, so this is the standard step for all the problems, not only for this problem, we have to do this for all the problems. Okay, so 2, 3, all right, so I'll just mark this. This is from the first equation 2, next is third 3, there is only 1 here, so I'm just bringing 1. There is no coefficient, that is the reason it is 0 s2, and finally RHS is this 60, correct? So this is done. Now similarly for the next one, 4x1, 3x2, 0 s1, 0 s2, 96. Okay, next zj is nothing but these are the coefficients of z equation, that is 40x1, 35x2, 0 s1, 0 s2. All right, so this is the simplex table. All right, so this is how we are supposed to formulate. So before we formulate this particular table, it is important that you introduced x1, x2, s1, s2, x1, x2, s1 and s2 in all the equations. It is important. All right, so this is how we are supposed to formulate. Next, basic variables are nothing but basic variables. Always remember that basic variables are nothing but it will be s1 and s2, because these are the extra variables which you have introduced in the equation. That is, s1 you have introduced in this equation and s2 is introduced in this equation. Okay, so that is the reason in the first equation s1 you are writing in the first row, and for the second equation you are going to write it as s2. All right, so I am just explaining once again how to consider basic variable. This is mandatory for all the problems. Whatever variables you have introduced extra, that is in the first equation you have introduced s1 as the extra variable, s2 we are not considering anyways, here we are considering s2 for the second equation, correct? So because the coefficient of s2 is 1 in this case, so that is the reason s2 is being considered here. Okay, so s1 and s2. All right, s1 and s2. Now how to consider this 0 and 0? 0 and 0 is nothing but it comes from this. S1's coefficient is 0, s2 coefficient is 0. Okay, so this is how we are supposed to consider the table values. Okay, so this is nothing but the table value. Alright, so initially you may find it a little bit difficult, but for each and every problem from here onwards we will try to solve one more problem on simplex method. The same thing you will have to repeat. Whatever we have done here, the same thing you will have to repeat. The same calculation have to be repeated once again. Alright, so you will get adjusted to this. Alright, so the same calculations we are supposed to repeat once again as we move ahead. Okay, all right, now how to go ahead. Now we are calculating cj values. Cj is nothing but c1 is equal to, how to calculate cj, there is one notation called as cj. Cj is nothing but it is the gross profit. We will see what gross profit is once this calculation is done. What cj stands for, so on and so forth. We will see how to interpret this particular table. That also we will see as we go ahead. All right, so first we will try to see how to calculate all these values. First, c1 is equal to, we have to formulate this type of a matrix. Matrix is nothing but s. S is nothing but 0 and 0. All right, 0 and 0, how do we get this 0 and 0? It is nothing but this. All right, so here we have 0 and 0, the same values are being considered here and here. Okay, now similarly x1 is nothing but 2 and 4. 2 and 4 is nothing but 2 2 and 4 is nothing but this is 2 and 4 which we are considering here. Okay, 2 and 4. Okay, that is under x1 column. Values under x1 columns are considered here 2 and 4. Okay, so when we multiply 0 into 2 we get it as 0, and when we multiply 0 with 4 we get 0 again. Alright, we are supposed to add these two and get the answer as 0. Okay, that is the reason C1 is equal to 0. Okay, so likewise next we will go for the next calculation. This basic variable will remain as it is. Basic variable will remain as it is. Okay, basic variable will remain as it is. Okay, so this is standard 0 and 0. This is 3 and 3. For why? Because we are calculating C2. We are calculating C2. We will see what is C1 and C2, but first we will see how to calculate these two. Okay, 0 and 0 and 3 and 3, which is equal to 0 plus 0, which is equal to 0. Okay, when we add these two values we are going to get it as 0. Alright, so C2 is equal to 0. Next, C3 value. How to consider C3 value? Again, this is the basic variable column. This is nothing but this is a basic variable column. This is basic variable column, and this is S1 column in the previous table. Okay, S1 column was 1 and 0, so that is the reason we have written it as 1 and 0. Okay, now 0 into 1 is 0, 0 into 0 is 0 again. Okay, so when we add these two values we will get it as 0 itself. Alright, next is nothing but C4. C4 is nothing but again the same thing. Basic variable column is 0 and 0. S2 column in the table is 0 and 1. When we multiply this we get it as 0. We multiply this we will get it as 0, and if I add these two values again I am going to get it as 0. Okay, alright, next we calculate Zj and Cj. Okay, now Zj and Cj is nothing but the first, for each of the columns we are calculating Zj minus Cj. For example, first is Z1 minus C1. Okay, Z1 minus C1. Z1 is 40. I am going to the previous page. How to identify Z1? Z1 is this. Z1 is 40. Okay, Z2 is 35. Alright, so I will go to the next page. So Z1 minus C1 is equal to 40 minus 0. C1, which is C1 here? C1 is, I'm just going to the previous page. Okay, C1 is 0. We have identified C1 as 0. So I'm just going to the next page. 40 minus 0 is 40. Alright. Similarly, 35 minus 0 is 35. How do we get this? 35 is Z2. I am just going to the previous page. How to determine Z2? Z2 is 35. Okay, Z2 is equal to 35, and C2 is equal to 0. C2 is equal to 0. So that is the reason Z2 minus C2 is equal to 35. 35 minus 0 is 35. Alright. Similarly, Z3 minus C3. Okay, C3 is here and Z3 is in the table. C3 is 0. Okay, so 0 minus 0 is 0, and Z4 minus C4 is also 0. Okay, now if you have to see maximum, we have to identify which is the maximum Zj minus Cj value. Maximum among this is 40. Okay, maximum Zj minus Cj is 40. Alright, now what we are doing with these particular values, see here, I am writing the same values which we had written previously. S row is same, S2 row is also the same, Zj value is also the same, whatever I had written in the previous. I will go back to the previous page. I think it will be clear if I indicate all these values in the previous table. We have already written all these values in the previous page. So we have already written all these values. The same continuation of this particular table is written over there. Okay. All right, so these are the table values. Now I'm just going to the next table. All right, so here, so whatever C and Zj minus Cj, so only addition is Cj and this particular two rows. Okay, so this is being added, whatever values we had obtained, all are 0, C values are 0 for all, and this is like this. Okay, Zj minus Cj. Okay, all right, next. If we have to see, the maximum Zj minus Cj value is 40. Alright, so that is the reason I'm going to select this particular row. Now, why we are going to select this and why we are selecting Zj maximum Zj minus Cj, there is a reason behind that. What it means is that this product, that is product A, x1 means product A, is it right? Now this product gives us maximum profit. If the firm sells this product, they earn maximum profit, that is 40 rupees when compared to product B. Product B profit is only 35 rupees, this is 40 rupees. So that is the reason what the company decides is, it decides to manufacture more number of product A. Why? Because they have very few resources, raw material and labor hours. With this, they have to see that they manufacture maximum amount of product A. So that is the reason this is being circled 2 and 4. Alright, so 2 and 4 is being circled, that for this reason, and that is the reason we select maximum Zj minus Cj. Alright, next is, with this available resource, now we know that for manufacturing one product A, we require 2 kgs of raw material and 4 hours of labor. Is it right? Now with this constraint, we have to see how many number of product A can be manufactured. That is the next question. Alright, so I am going to repeat this once again. As the company as this product gives more profit, that is the reason the company decides to manufacture more number of product A. Now what happens is, it is given that for manufacturing one product A, 2 kgs of raw material is required and 4 hours of labors are required. Correct? Now we have to next determine how many number of product A can be manufactured with this available resource. We have total available 60 kgs, total available 96 hours. So with this available resource, how many number of product A can be manufactured, that is to be decided. Alright, so the explanation of the same is written over here. So as shown in the previous table, maximum Z minus C value is 40, that is Z1 minus C1. Therefore we circle or select column X1, which is marked in red in the previous table. Alright, it means that one product A requires 2 kgs of raw material, 4 hours of labor. Now by selling one product A, profit earned is 40 rupees. It is given that total available raw material is equal to 60 kgs. Okay, and it is also given that 2 kgs is required to manufacture one product A. Therefore, total number of product A that can be manufactured is 60 divided by 2, which is equal to 30. Okay. Alright, so I will continue this in the next video. Alright, so I hope until here you have understood this correctly.